One. Welcome back to the Podmen, the wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Also, audio versions of the show available on Anchor. And if you want to contact the show with a topic or as a guest, you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And joining me today for another episode of our special Collector's Corner series, where we invite guests on to show us some of their beautiful pieces in their collections that they've built up over time in their fandom of wrestling. The one and the only, you already know him, I'm sure, from previous episodes. Jonathan, how the word? John, how you doing, my man?
Doing great, man. Great to be on with you again, bud.
Good,
how are you doing?
Good. It's mad. I'm just looking behind you there before we even start, and I'm thinking, you're down there in Limerick in Ballyfaskin, and on the shelf there, an urn signed by The Undertaker, and I'm just thinking, wow. It's just when you know yourself from going to these fan accesses and stuff like that, they always have lovely pieces out, and Vince and Mean Gene's old jackets and flares, robes and stuff like that. But like down there, Ballyfaskin, Limerick, signed Undertaker urn. It's quality.
Yeah, it's a small world.
Oh,
stuff gets around, brother.
Big time. So tell us, everyone at this stage knows your love for wrestling and Warrior and Eddie Guerrero and all these guys and all, of course, but talk to me about the merchandise. When did the bug for the merchandise kick in?
Well, like I was big into the figures and the magazines and the VHSs when I was really, really young. I mean, like the first figure I got was one of the Hulk Hogan Hasbro's. Sorry, Jason. That was like the very first thing I got. I would have only been like 3 at the time, but I think I kind of got big into the figures when I was about 8 or 9. And then the games, just kind of all the regular stuff you'd be into as a kid, like the games, the figures, magazines, and everything. But like as an adult, getting back into the merch collecting was it was really only in the last couple of years. Like I was big into like getting the t-shirts, like off of yourselves. Like, I like have a wardrobe full of your shirts. Most of them are fucking too big for me now.
I would have never known.
Yeah. And, but yeah, so it was mainly the clothes and stuff. But where did it start? So the figures, a few friends of mine and family and stuff got me a couple of figures as like gifts and stuff for like Christmas and like my birthday and stuff. So that kind of got me. I wouldn't be a big collector of the figures, but every so often, if one catches my eye, like I have, I'll just move this up here a small bit. I have the Joker Sting TNA figure. I'll just lift that up, see if people can see it. Yeah. Up here, a signed by Sting. I got that signed by him in Liverpool 2 years ago. That was a cool one.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that started a couple of years ago with the figures, and then the signed merch then was really in the last year. I got big into that, partly because WrestleMania got cancelled and I got that refund. There isn't much of that refund left.
when you get into collecting the figures and you get into buying signed merchandise, it's an expensive hobby, isn't it? It's like, you start prioritizing merch nearly over food and bills. It's crazy.
God, when I had that refund money, like I just got completely carried away. Like, every kind of, because I would have never been able to get anything before like too high end. You know what I mean? So now I was able to afford like the Undertaker signed urn and the Sting Undertaker. I'll actually give people a close up of that one. That's kind of my holy grail. Because that was my my dream match, Sting versus Taker. Undertaker was my WWE guy, Sting was my WCW guy. So that was a huge piece for me to get.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, so that was a big one. Like, so it's really in the last year now I've gotten really big into the sign stuff. So really kind of the last couple of years that it's become a habit. Like,
it's our drug of choice without a shadow of a doubt.
Really
and if anyone's out there is thinking of starting to get into collecting wrestling merchandise and memorabilia, don't.
Yeah.
just don't start.
Well, just keep it to the cheap stuff. Like, just get the figures when they come out and stuff like that, but just don't go to the signed stuff because your wallet will regret it.
Absolutely. So walk us through. I mean, walk us through some of the key pieces in the collection. I mean, obviously we can see some behind you there. The urn is outstanding. It keeps on drawing my eye to the urn.
I'll bring that down.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't drop it. It's actually fairly freaking heavy.
Do a few arm curls with it on the way over.
Oh God, I wish.
It's absolutely outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sweet, and like the rest in peace inscription on it as well, like makes it that bit cooler because he doesn't do that very often.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's people who'll be looking at this going, "What the hell would you want with an urn in your house for?" And you go, "You obviously don't understand."
Yeah, and you know what's funny about it as well, Niall? When it actually arrived, it has a really cool I have the freaking photo in front of it. Yeah, it has a really cool kind of urn case, like, you know.
Yeah.
And but it came in the original like urn box, like that you would get from the actual morticians or whatever they call the place where you get them, like, so yeah. And it has the weirdest smell. Like it smells like a funeral home, like, you know. It'll strike like it still smells of it. Like, yeah, it's so weird. When I first got it, I was kind of like, I don't know if I made the right decision here. Like, it's so morbid, but no, it's actually super cool now. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Imagine if you were doing like a medium or something like that, or you had someone coming into your house, one of those people, and they'd be going, "Yes, you got an urn there on the shelf. That's not good at all now. You know, that's sending the wrong message, you know." But yeah, absolutely cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I see as well, just above your head there, you got your boneyard plaque as well there with your piece of boneyard sand.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful piece as well.
Yeah, I love that piece.
Yeah, I have one of them myself. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I still often wonder why the sand that it is sort of browny yellow, but the sand that's in it is a kind of a grey. But I won't question Vince.
Yeah, I suppose maybe it's just a transportation thing or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was definitely in AJ's hand at one stage. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. We'll tell ourselves that at least anyway. But yeah, absolutely. No, I'd say they do it legit. We'll hope so anyway.
pick us out another few pieces then, or pick us out another few bits there.
Oh, okay. I'll actually bring you over here. This was from the WWE Superstar signing in Manchester a couple of years ago. So that's actually signed by Rollins. I don't know if you can see the signature on it.
I can see it there. Just left of his head, is it? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really cool. Like, they're a big son of a bitch of a thing. The banners, that's another. I have the AJ Styles one as well. That's where I met them. So it's cool to have those. I'd really love to get the Sting one from the Comic-Con where I met Sting. Like, they had a really cool banner of him, like, because I'd say Sting, as big as it was meeting like Undertaker and Warrior, Sting is kind of my sentimental favorite of the guys that I've met, because we had such a good conversation. Like, he was so nice. He was so cool. Like, so that's one thing I'd really like. But I'll grab some other stuff. This is a thing that I got recently. You know, I interviewed Tom Fleming, the old the 90s WWF costume designer. And after the interview, he sent me some of the prints of some of the work that he did. Look at that Razor Ramon piece. Isn't that freaking fab? Yeah. Isn't that awesome? And like the thing with that as well, like, he sent me a couple of them. I've the this was the original Razor Ramon costume design.
Oh, good Lord, that hat.
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, the tights. But they're really cool pieces, and they're like on proper like art paper then as well.
Cool,
yeah. So they're really, really neat stuff. I'll just get out a few more things. See, there was only so much I could fit in the background. There's another signed figure that I got recently. Magnum TA.
Beautiful.
It's cool.
Absolutely, really cool. Yeah. And he has such a distinct signature as well.
He does, he really does. And that's something I really appreciate as well, is a nice signature. Like, I hate when it's a squiggle, or a squiggle with absolutely no style to it whatsoever. Like, Goldberg has kind of a squiggle, but there's a style to it. Like it looks cool. Like, you know, I have a cool sign magazine around of him around here somewhere. But
it's always nice as well when they put a little message on it, you know, like a Hall of Fame thing or a, you know, US champ or hardcore champion like Mick Foley or something like that, you know. They supposed to put a little bit more on it, you know.
Speaking of Mick, I'll bring up the camera altogether. God, I'm going to be fucking wrecking people's head now, moving the camera.
No, not at all.
Can you see the Mick Foley piece up there?
Yeah.
Lovely. It has the 3 signatures. So the signature as Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind, and Mick Foley then as well. He put that on as an extra. So that's a really cool piece as well, even though I haven't fully forgiven him for the jab he took at Warrior at the Hall of
Did he charge you for all 4, or did he do it as a single?
Like that was the thing he was doing at that signing, at the virtual signing. So it was pricier, like to get that. Like, yeah, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, it was still fairly pricey. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't pass it up. I think I still had some of the refund left at that point. So that was one of the last ones.
Good old Mick knows his value in more gimmicks than 1 or 2.
Freaking does, yeah. It's a smart way to go, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's like staying with the face paint or without the face paint, you know.
Oh yeah, he gets a sizable freaking bonus for wearing that paint, like, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh. But look, if you can get it.
Yeah, I often wonder about people that way, you know, that if you're going to meet Sting, you're not going to meet Steve Borden. You're going to meet Sting. So why the hell isn't the face paint on? Don't be taking us for a ride here.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's a good point, actually.
No one walks into a Comic-Con looking to meet Steve Borden.
That's very true. I'm just looking. Oh, here's another cool piece. It's a little banged up, but speaking of nice signatures, like now the figure was this way when I got it now, so it's not a matter of me being negligent, but it's a signed Kane figure.
Yeah, again, another very distinct signature. Like, it's great figure as well. Nice figure.
Yeah, no, that's a sweet one. I got that for steel as well. Excellent. Yeah, which was good. I'm just gonna see now. Do I have any? Oh, here's a cool one actually that I got from Brian himself. One of the signed photos I got from Brian Clark from when he was Wrath. He has he has a sweet signature as well. I have another one around there. Oh man, I'm after making such a mess of my room when I've been digging out everything.
You can blame me on that. It's all good.
No. Because see, the background that I have here, like for the podcast, I change what I have in the back. You probably noticed that I change what I have in the background for every episode, so it just destroys the room. Oh yes. I put some more stuff in the background. I'm not sure if you can see them from here, but this is my Ultimate Warrior signed photo. That's another one of my Holy Grail pieces.
That is the Holy Grail piece, I would assume. No.
It's between that and Undertaker and Sting. It's quite. It's hard to put one over the other because that's really, really sentimental as well to have that.
Yeah, it's a great picture as well. Great picture choice.
Yeah,
the picture's cool. Like,
yeah, because they had a. Oh yeah, that's another. Actually, one thing I'll say as well. There's the King. Now he probably has the nicest signature. I'll get a better picture because I have a ton of signed stuff from him. Because when you buy a signed picture of Lawler off his website, he sends you a bunch of them, or he did for me anyway. I just bought the one photo, and he sent me a ton of them.
Nice.
I think he has probably the nicest signature in the business. It's really, really nice. But what was cool as well, like I got those signed pictures from Lawler last year, and then around Christmas time, another package came from Jerry Lawler. I was like, what the hell? I didn't order anymore because I'd already got my pictures, like. And he sent me a couple of more signed photos with a Christmas card. Like, and nice. Apparently he was doing that for, like, because I know another guy that had got signed photos from him as well, and he sent it to him as well. So he must have been sending it out to freaking everyone that had bought signed stuff from him during the year. Like, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a nice touch. Did you check your PayPal in case you had billed it?
I did. No, free of charge. He's a good man. He's a good man, and that's cool because I absolutely freaking love Lawler as well.
I'd say for Lawler, the crown is the thing to get, isn't it? If you could get a signed crown or something like that, it'd be pretty cool.
High spots, I don't know, they might be sold out now, but they have them because they had him in recently and they got replica crowns and like got him to sign them. Like, so
I'd say they shot out the door.
Oh, I'd say so. I think they had like 2 left there yesterday, but I'd say they're God. Like, if I still had some of if I still had some of that WrestleMania refund left. Let's see what else we got here. More of the oh, here's the cool one. It's another one of the Tom Fleming pieces. This is the original Adam Bomb costume design. Like, I'll be getting frames for these now soon.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh,
nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, he hit the spot with that one.
Really did. Yeah, freaking hell. And like, he did the poster designs for some of the events back then. And there now, I'll get this out. So he did, and this is one of my favorite posters, pay-per-view posters. They're Royal Rumble '94. I freaking I love those animated ones from back then. Like, they're so cool.
Yeah, because they're not quite a photo, but they're not quite a figure. They're somewhere in between, aren't they? It's pretty cool, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're really neat that way. And he did the Survivor Series '93 one as well. Oh yeah, and he had to do all the different versions because remember Tatanka was taken out of the Survivor Series match and replaced with Undertaker, so that's the Tatanka version anyway.
Nice.
I better get royalties from Tom for this big plug.
Absolutely.
But no, they're kind of some of my favorite, more recent stuff that I've gotten. Oh, cool. One second. Now I'm after coming across something else here. This is another piece that I really like. God dang. This is the Goldberg magazine that I was referring to earlier. That I got signed by him at the freaking Inside the Ropes tour in Dublin that time. Nice. What's cool about that is, like, that's the one, like, I got that at the time, like back in 2003. And like, I was a big Goldberg fan, but kind of similar to like my story with Warrior. Like, this would have been a few years before Warrior like came on the scene for me, like, you know, so like, he was another guy that, like, from the interview in that magazine, that's why I got him to sign that magazine. He was, from the interview in that magazine, like, he was another guy that I found really inspiring, like, you know, because like, that was kind of at the start of, like, you know, dealing with, you know, some stuff in school and stuff like that. Like, so, and he talked about that in the interview in the magazine about like bullying and things like that. Like, you know, so that was really, really cool. Then all these years later, like, you know, to get that signed by him, like, you know, that was super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit then. Is there a signature you haven't got that you would like on the bucket list, or is there a memorabilia item that you would like that you don't have yet, that you feel your collection might be a little bit incomplete?
Yeah, there is. Oh, I was just thinking of this the other night. Well, one, it's not necessarily like, it's not a rare autograph or anything, but one like that I need to get something signed from soon is Scott Hall, because I'm a big Scott Hall fan. And like, I met him at the For the Love Wrestling thing 2 years ago, like, but I never got anything signed from him. I just got the photo with him because I ran out of money fairly quick. And yeah,
surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I know. Yeah, see, like, I did stupid things there, like, you know, because like, I got my picture with Ted DiBiase, and I got like signed photo. I got him to sign. I don't think I have that in this room now. I got the entrance greats figure of DiBiase signed by him, and I got a freaking stupidly, for some reason, I spent 20 quid to get a fucking selfie with DiBiase. That's 20 quid I could have used the get an autograph from somebody else, like, but I think DiBiase was the first guy that I met there.
Okay.
First from the merchandise for getting the signed stuff, because they have it separate. You go separately for your photos, and you meet them at another table then for the autographs and all that. So I just got carried away when I went to his table, like just fucking bought a load of stuff, like, and I blew a lot of money. And I did the same thing with Sid then as well. And like after that, I was like, fuck's sake, I don't have enough money to meet Booker T now. But,
I always say to people when they go to the conventions or the fan accesses or stuff like that, before you start blowing your money, go in and do a lap.
Yeah.
And then figure out what you want to do, because more often than not, you meet the first guys and you go, oh, Ted DiBiase, oh, Booker T or whatever. And then by the time you walk around the corner, you don't have the money for some of the guys that you really want to meet. But you're so excited about seeing these guys in real life that you just start going, okay, let's go. And you're throwing the dollars out there. Before you know it, you hit the wallet and it's empty and you're going.
That's 100% it. Like, and so I've regretted that. So I really want to get a Razor Ramon piece soon signed. But in terms of like the bucket list ones, I still actually have to get a Hulk Hogan piece. I actually don't have a signed Hulk Hogan piece yet. But in terms of the more rare ones, like high end, I'd love to get an Eddie Guerrero piece. I'd absolutely love to get a signed Eddie Guerrero piece. Kerry Von Erich is another one. Like, a lot of some of the guys that have passed away, like Mr. Perfect or
Rick Rude.
Rick Rude, There's a few in terms of specific merchandise.
Macho Man.
Oh Jesus, yeah. How could I freaking forget? Like he's another high end one. Like the guys that have passed away. I mean, their signatures are. They're freaking, they ain't cheap. Like, they ain't cheap. So, he'd be awesome. I'm just trying to think of like specific items though. There's another, I'd love, like probably the Holy Grail piece I could get, because it's my all-time favorite match, is the WrestleMania plaque of WrestleMania 25, the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match. It has the piece of the ring rope in it and that kind of stuff, and it's signed by Undertaker. Yeah. I'd love that, like to actually own a piece of, own a tiny little piece of my favorite match of all time. That'd be super cool. Or even the one from WrestleMania 28 with Taker and Triple H, because that's high up there. Like things like that. Like, I really like the plaques. I've really gotten into the plaques. In I don't have many of them. I have the Undertaker one here, the Boneyard one, and I have the one from everybody's favorite Seth Rollins match, the Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt. Remember that? But the piece itself is awesome. Fuck it, I should have brought that out actually. Yeah. So I do like the plaques. I'm planning on getting an Apollo one as well, because as far as like the modern guys, I really want to get some Apollo stuff, because I really like Apollo at the moment. Orton is another guy. I must get his autograph as well. I don't have any autographed Orton piece. There's quite a few. I could go on for a while.
The list is never ending. You come home from one convention and you're booking the next one. It's crazy. Like, you just
exactly. And another like Triple H is another like high end one. That I really like. I don't have any signed Triple H stuff, and like he'd probably be 2 or 3 on my all-time favorites list thereabouts. Like he's just slightly behind Undertaker, and like he probably would be my number 2. Like Sting and Angle would probably be high up there then as well. Like Orton would be high up there as well. But like, I still need to get a freaking Triple H signed piece as well. So there's a good few even like of the more recent people like that I need to get signed stuff of.
Yeah, sounds good. Like some, like even the ones you're mentioning there, I'm shaking thinking about the cost.
I know,
and I collect myself, so I know, like, when you start rattling off the names, it's just God.
If only, like, that's one of the reasons I wish I'd preserved some of my freaking WrestleMania refund a bit better, like, because there's a few things like maybe I could have held out for. Like there was actually some other cool pieces I got from there. I should have I didn't like, they're kind of the holy grail, so they were kind of the main ones I said I'd bring out. Like, but like I got the original pay-per-view poster from Armageddon 2000.
Nice.
The Armageddon 2000 original poster, super cool piece. Because if you remember, do you remember the poster for that? It was, you know, the same on the VHS cover. It's Undertaker on the bike, and it's all the like skeletons, like, you know, from like Ghost Rider, like, you know, in the background.
Cool.
One of the coolest pay-per-view freaking images they ever did. So having the original pay-per-view poster of that is super cool. Yeah, no, too late. No?
It's mad. It's mad when people think when you tell people you collect like pro wrestling merchandise and memorabilia and all, and they just think of it as being kind of like DVDs and figures and stuff like that. But it's so much more than that. Like when you think.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's all sorts. Like I've like old pins from the 90s. Remember, like the what did they call them? The pins, pennants. You know, those old WWF ones. I have one of those of Tatanka and like some of the cards then as well. And yeah, a bunch of random shit. Like I've an edition of before SummerSlam 92, there's an edition of the Sunday World from over in England, like, and they had an extra piece in it of with the Ultimate Warrior on the front of it, like, so it's a Sunday World piece with Ultimate Warrior on the front from 1992, like, yeah, I have that inside there. A Canadian TV guide from 1990 with Warrior on the front of it from when he was the champion as well. Bunch of random shit, like, you know.
Yeah, no, but it's very cool. Like, I mean, you could see, and all these things, I say to people that they're little treasures within your fandom and your life of collecting and following pro wrestling. So you can sort of take out a piece and it reminds you of someone that you met or a moment in wrestling time that you cherish or something like that. So they're very, that's why I love doing these collection episodes, because they're very personal to people. You know what I mean? It's not just a guy coming on and here's the latest figure I got in Smith 4 weeks ago type of thing. It's like,
yeah.
Here's a Nern. Here's a Nern I got signed by the Undertaker when I met him, or Sting when I met him. He signed this, and it just reminds you, like your picture there with Warrior when you met Warrior. You look at that picture and it's signed, and it'll always remind you of the day you went and you met Warrior. You know what I mean? So it's very personal to you as well. You know what I mean? And it's
exactly like.
I always say to guys when they come into the shop, from time to time, collectors come into the shop and they'll bring in their figure collection or their DVD collection or their magazine collection. I love the old magazine collections and stuff like that.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And I always say to them, like, first thing I always say to them is, are you sure you want to get rid of it? And they'll always say to me, yeah, I've grown up now and the wife says I have to get rid of it, kind of thing, you know? And then the second thing I always say to them, I said, now you do understand the value that you put on this might not necessarily be the value that you think it is, because from a nostalgia point of view, it means so much more to you as the collector than it would be, say, someone coming in looking to buy a few Power Slam magazines or picking up a couple of VHS tapes or something like that. So I always say to guys, first of all, I always say to them, do you want to step outside for a minute and think about whether you want to get rid of this or not? And then come back in. And if you do want to get rid of it, you need to understand that the memories and the nostalgia that you cherish are not the same memories and nostalgia that a customer coming in to buy some of the stuff would cherish, because they haven't sort of grown up with it. They haven't spent the time investing in it. They haven't spent the money accumulating it. It doesn't hold with them the same way it holds with you. So it's always great to have someone on to talk about their collection and what it meant to them at that time. And, you know, and I always love asking as well the pieces that they don't have, because everyone always has those couple of pieces go, well, I would have loved to meet him, or I would have loved to meet him, or I'd love him to sign this, or I'd love him to sign that type of thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's a good few pieces here that I still have to freaking get signed. Like, I'm looking forward to getting some of those Tom Fleming posters signed, especially that Razor Ramon one. Like, I can't wait to get that signed. Yeah. But yeah, there's a good few. There's another Holy Grail piece, but like, I think there's only meant to be like a handful of them on planet Earth. Like, you know, I've only seen one person with it, because it was the only time I'd ever seen it. There's actually a poster, a kind of an animated one, like the those 93, 94 ones from SummerSlam 93 with Yoko and Luger. And have you ever seen it now?
No.
Yeah, it's a really rare, like, I'd never seen it before. I just seen one guy with it, and he has it signed by both Yoko and Lex. Nice. And it's so freaking cool, because I love that whole Like that's what I love, that whole build up. Like that's one of my first memories of wrestling. Like is Lex slamming Yoko on the USS Intrepid, the body slam challenge. So I sentimentally, I know the match, you know, it didn't turn out that great because Lex didn't win the title, but like that build up was so freaking cool. So I'd love to have that freaking poster. It's so cool. I'll actually send you on the picture after this. But there's one. Well, just bear with me for 1 second. There's
take your time.
One other piece that I want to show you. I went out for one piece. I came back with about 5.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, no. But just speaking of the whole Lex Express, Lex Luger thing, this is one of the cooler signed pieces I think I have. I think that's so freaking cool.
It's a picture that encompasses so much when you look
it really it does, doesn't it? All like just that whole storyline, like, you know, you have the fans kind of representing the whole the Lex Express tour, then you've like Cornette and Fuji over here, the guy that sang the national anthem at SummerSlam 93 over here, Macho Man, the USS Intrepid. It's as far as like the freaking like art pieces go, I think that has to be one of the coolest ones. It's the coolest one I have anyway, I'd say. I absolutely love that piece.
Let's go.
And there's the photo proof of Lex signing it as well.
If we ever doubted you.
It's cool to have that all the same. But yeah, this was the piece that I actually went out for. Speaking of stuff like bringing back sentimental memories, is the shoot interview with Warrior, like the limited edition one, like that was the big shoot interview that went out. I think it's it's limited edition of 1000. So, and it's signed by him, obviously. Like that's a really sentimental one, because when I first started looking into him that time, back in, it would have been, I think it was 2006. That was a big, that was really still buzzing at the time, that shoot interview. Like, you know, in a lot of ways, there's the Self-Destruction DVD, from what I heard, is kind of a response to that shoot. And so I was mad to get that, and it was so hard to get a hold of. I mean, like, all the copies of it on Ringside, like, obviously were sold by that point, like, because it had been out over a year, probably maybe more at the time, like. But so, like, I was looking on eBay every day for about a good year, definitely a good year or so, anyway. And one day, like, it came on eBay a couple of times, but just way, I mean, I was only fucking 16 at the time. Like, the price. Like, I mean, I was doing some laboring work with my dad back then on my days off and stuff. Like, but still, like, no, I can't pay 200 quid, like, you know, or whatever the case may be. But I think, like, when I was finally able to afford it, I I think I got it for about 90 quid, something like that, maybe, or maybe about 100 thereabouts anyway, which is, it's still pricey enough, especially back then as well. Like, but yeah, so that's really sentimental. Like when I first got to see that, because there was no like clips of it on YouTube or anything. Yeah. Like this is a different time. Like, I mean, like everything wasn't, so readily available, or even if something was a limited edition thing like that, it's not like, there were a bunch of pirated, copies out there or whatever. Like, so that was really tough to get a hold of. So that's a big sentimental piece. Here's the Canadian TV guide I was telling you about. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's in good nick for 1990 as well.
Yeah, they're the ones they used to put into hotel rooms and stuff like that. Now, remember? You get them in hotel rooms. They'd be beside the TV and stuff like that. But they always had. It's always a sports or someone on it. Nice.
And that's the legendary Warrior comic. Yeah, I have, I think, 4 of them. I'm missing one. I think it's the last one I'm missing. I must actually go through them and see if I can get it. But that's they're some of the Holy Grail pieces anyway.
It's absolutely fabulous.
Well, what's actually your kind of more sentimental piece yourself?
I love the Hasbro figures because it reminds me so much of my sort of childhood growing up and stuff like that, and loving wrestling. It wasn't really my childhood. I was just a big kid when the Hasbros came out. But I love the belts. Like I've a world heavyweight over that shoulder there, signed by Ric Flair, and I've a big gold up here in front of me here, signed by Goldberg. And
wow,
few people. I've a lot of good stuff. Like, it's just half of it I can't even remember. There's some other bits I'd love to get. I have a lot of Funko Pops there signed as well by Mean Gene and Slaughter and Sheik and all these guys. A lot of pops over there signed by different wrestlers and stuff like that. No, but I kind of love the old stuff because I love the old logo. So that's why I love the old WWF logos. If you'll see it on some of the Hasbro stuff behind me, stuff that I love that stuff. I'm just so drawn to that logo when I see it on a magazine or I see it on a figure box or any of those things. I love it. I'm not a big collector of kind of 8x10s or that kind of thing. I see a lot of guys going around at the conventions that they've had folders full of 8x10s that they want to get signed, stuff like that. They don't do anything for me because I just think if I get an 8x10 signed or a plaque signed or something, that I have to frame it and put it on the wall. I don't really want to put it under a bed in a folder or something like that. It doesn't do anything for me because I kind of like sometimes sitting back and looking at the merchandise and going, yeah, that's really cool. That reminds me of this. This reminds me of that. And they're the kind of things I sort of get drawn to. But there's bits out there I'd like to get. Like I said, I'd like to get the crown. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And a couple of other bits. You know what I mean? Just kind of. I'm more into when I say to the guys when I go to the convention with them, I like kind of bringing different stuff. Like if you're going to meet Triple H, you want to get a sledgehammer signed by him or something like that. Something different that's iconic for the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to get an 8x10 signed or a DVD or a video or something like that. I'd rather get something like, like a weapon or a chair or something iconic that way,
Yeah.
Same with Sean. Like if you're going to meet Sean, you probably want to get like a cowboy hat signed by him or something like that. Something cool.
Yeah. Things like that are cool. I think I got the or did I show this already? I'm not sure. Jesus, I can't even remember what I've done in the last half an hour. But that's what I got signed from Sean.
Awesome.
The entrance great.
Awesome.
I think it still plays actually.
Awesome.
Dark City.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it's those little things that we love as well. And it's those little things that make the piece.
100%. It's funny actually when I met Ted, like that's what I got Ted to sign as well as the entrance great figure of him, and he actually, like he said, "Oh man, I haven't seen one of these in a while," and he kept playing it. He kept pressing the button to hear the music, that was freaking amazing. Like that was super cool.
Most of them are their own biggest fans anyway. So.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I was thinking, I said to the lads, I met Hacksaw at the last one, but I said I wanted to get a 2x4 signed by him. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just get anything, that kind of way. So
yeah.
I'm not a big collector of 8x10s and stuff like that. They don't really do one for me. I do like some of the signed figures and stuff like that and signed belts. and some of the more like the arty posters and stuff like that, the graphic ones and stuff like that, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad into just getting a straight up 8x10 sign. It just wouldn't. I need something more, that kind of way.
Yeah, I think for me the 8x10s are more out of financial necessity.
Yeah, and space. I mean, the amount of times the amount of times I get deliveries here, and the wife turns around and goes, you know what I mean? And it's like, would you not just move out with all this stuff? Like, and I've tons of stuff in boxes up in the attic and all that I don't have on display. I'm sure there's loads of sign piece that just don't come to mind right away. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Yeah. No,
you're always picking up bits.
Yeah, same here. I've so much stuff here, like that I still need to frame. Like I actually have very little frame. I just what happens to me is I mean to frame, like, I'll get frames for this now next week, and then next week I'll buy a new fucking piece, like, I'll buy another piece. So like that's usually the way it goes. Like, but no, I must prioritize it, because there are some pieces I really, really do need to frame up, and some of the photos with some of the wrestlers, like, I really need to frame for sure.
Yeah, well, it's always cool, like if you have a display piece, let's say like your urn, and it's always nice to have the picture in the background as well, signed or whatever it is. It's really, really cool kind of display.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's hard to
exactly. Yeah.
But space is always the premium, especially if you're getting the bigger items. But look,
yeah, for sure.
As always, a pleasure having you on. I always enjoy these chats. It's like nearly a monthly catch up at this stage.
It is actually, yeah. No, it's good. No, I really enjoyed this. Like obviously, like we're both in the same boat. Like when it comes to our kind of nerdism for wrestling work. So this was a really cool subject to touch on. Like I really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Well, as always, head over to YouTube. Dynamo Podcast Network, the 4 Podmen Collectors Corner. Audio versions of the show available on Anchor as well. Jonathan, this has been your Collectors Corner episode. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, buddy. Take care, man. Enjoy.
Cheers.